Red Bull is considering something that's never happened in Formula One history, putting Max Verstappen's name on the team, not just as a driver, but as part of the official title, like Max Bull Racing or Team Verstappen by Red Bull. That's how scared Red Bull is of losing Max to Toto Wolff. Helmut Marko said it himself. Too much has happened in the past, and Max has a very good memory. Toto Wolff will try, but he will not succeed. The numbers say it all. In 2024, Verstappen scored 165 points. His teammates, 7 combined. That's not a racing team. That's one man dragging an entire operation while the rest of the garage looks on. When 96% of your points come from one person, you're not competing. You're surviving on the back of one extraordinary driver. And now that driver might walk. The timing couldn't be worse. Christian, the only team principal Red Bull has ever had, just got thrown out after internal chaos tore the team apart. Adrian, the genius behind every title-winning car, has already joined Aston Martin. Jonathan Wheatley and Rob Marshall are gone too. The core is crumbling. Verstappen is all that's left, and he's considering leaving too. Meanwhile, Toto Wolff and Mercedes are circling like predators. That secret Sardinia meeting between Max and Wolff wasn't two old rivals catching up over coffee. It was a recruitment pitch. Lewis Hamilton is headed to Ferrari in 2025, and Mercedes needs a new king. They're offering Verstappen something Red Bull can't anymore. Stability, a clear direction, a team that knows what it's doing. A strong and united team has the power to overcome any challenge. But Red Bull's new Austrian shareholders have a different idea. They're so desperate to keep Verstappen that they're willing to break every unwritten rule in Formula One history. Ferrari never became Team Schumacher. Mercedes didn't rename it for Hamilton. These teams knew the institution had to be bigger than the driver. Red Bull is ready to throw that wisdom in the trash and set it on fire. And it's not just the leadership collapse. The car is falling apart too. Pierre Watt and Enrico Balba inherited a disaster after Newey left. Every upgrade seems to make things worse. The strategy department, once razor-sharp, now looks completely lost. Verstappen's calm on the radio has turned into frustration, and you can't blame him. He's a world champion fighting to stay in the top 5. This is the same team that landed a $500 million Oracle deal to revolutionize performance with cutting-edge computing. Yet somehow, all that tech hasn't stopped their car from regressing every weekend. It's ironic. The most advanced tools in F1, and they still don't know what's going wrong. You need the right balance between data and gut feeling. And then there's 2026, the year Red Bull becomes an engine manufacturer for the first time, partnering with Ford. It sounds impressive until you remember they'll be going up against Mercedes, Ferrari, and Renault, teams with decades of engine-building experience. Red Bull, they're rookies. Asking Verstappen to stick around through that learning curve is like asking him to start from zero again. The human side makes this even more complex. Max recently became a father. He's talked about not racing into his late 30s, watching Hamilton at 39 and Alonso at 43 still grinding it out. He's starting to rethink it all. Maybe he doesn't want to drive in circles forever, even if he's the best in the world at it. And yet Red Bull's response: lock him in so tight that even if he wants out, he can't leave. Their desperation is showing. Helmut Marko, Max's longtime ally, is publicly trying to kill the Mercedes rumors. Too much has happened in the past. Max has a very good memory. Toto Wolff will try, but he will not succeed. Translation: please don't go. Max, remember what they did to you. It's not strategy, it's pleading. We've seen this before in football. When PSG gave Neymar and Mbappe power beyond the pitch, the team collapsed. Player authority outweighed coaching. Chemistry died. Success became impossible. Red Bull seems determined to repeat that mistake, just with carbon fiber instead of soccer ball. The psychological warfare here is fascinating. Every time Norris outqualifies or outraces Piastri, the question will hang in the air: would the result have been different if they were in identical cars? Every time Piastri extends his championship lead, it validates his conservative approach. This isn't just about suspension geometry and spring rates. It's about two fundamentally different philosophies clashing within the same team. McLaren finds itself walking a tightrope. They can't force Piastri to use parts he doesn't want. That would risk destroying the harmony that's brought them to the front of the grid. But they also can't have their drivers effectively competing in different categories. The team that once struggled to score points is now managing a luxury problem, but it's a problem nonetheless. The wider implications ripple through the paddock. Other teams are watching closely, wondering if McLaren's flexibility with driver preferences is genius or madness. In an era where every team tries to optimize their car around a single concept, McLaren is essentially running a two-car experiment every race weekend. The data they're gathering could revolutionize how teams approach driver-specific development, or it could prove that standardization is king. As the engines fire up at Spa-Francorchamps, the stakes couldn't be higher. Piastri's championship lead hangs by a thread. Norris smells blood in the water, and McLaren's unique approach faces its biggest test yet. Will the young Australian's faith in his older spec car prove justified? Or will Norris's willingness to embrace change give him the edge when it matters most? The answer lies somewhere between La Source and the bus stop chicane, where a tenth of a second can feel like an eternity, and the difference between old and new might just determine who lifts the trophy in Abu Dhabi.